Hi folks, Alex Klingelhoeffer here with Exencial Wealth Advisors. It's 7:21 here in the middle part of the country. On Monday, it's July 19th, 2021. Here's your morning jog around the economic headlines of the world. We're going to start off in England as they are now fully open for business. Prime Minister Boris Johnson saying, hey, we know that vaccinations are reasonably high, like 87% of all adults have received at least one shot over in England. We know that cases are rising, Delta variant coming through the population, but hey, this is just part of life on a go-forward basis. You have to be vaccinated if you don't want to catch COVID or don't want to catch a severe form of COVID. It's just going to be life. We're going to move on economically as we can. As you can see, one of our big themes this year has been the U.S. Being out ahead of Europe, having better policy, having better vaccination rates, allowing folks to get back to work faster, improving our economy. You can see here, the United Kingdom has now surpassed the U.S. in terms of vaccination. They did that a couple weeks ago, fully vaccinated. And now we're seeing additional European countries like Spain, Italy, Germany. They're still on the upswing of their curve, where the U.S. is really flattened out in its vaccination rate. On a go-forward basis, you may start to see some better European data come out economically as their vaccination rates are surpassing the U.S. The U.S. really has flatlined quite a bit as folks aren't increasingly getting vaccinated like they were at the start of the pandemic. Certainly a major theme to keep an eye on as we go into the second half of the year. Robinhood is looking to raise more than $2 billion in its IPO. It's looking to IPO at $35 billion. As a company, does seem like quite a large company that would put it sort of on par with neighbors like Charles Schwab, other brokerage houses. Of course, Robinhood has great revenue. It's got great margins. It's continuing to expand its footprint, but it does have some big legal risks attached to it. A lot of their practices are quite frankly really scalping retail for the benefit of institutional dollars. We will see as that progresses here over the next month or so if they get that $35 billion number. Again, it'll be a name to be very careful moving dollars around if and when IPO, because they're really not giving a lot of shares to the public, right? They're having a very small percentage of their total company actually out in a public float. Seems like a target for a big squeeze up and then insiders dumping their shares. We'll see. Last but not least, before we get you off to a nice week, Zoom bought cloud call center firm Five9 for just under $15 billion. Of course, Five9 does contact centers for about 2,000 different companies, and they're all virtual, like Zoom is virtual. They see a lot of cross-selling opportunities there for both firms. Could be a nice merger. We'll just have to see. I'll be tuning into their conference call, their Zoom call later on today, just to see what that looks like. Could be a very interesting purchase there by Zoom. Remember, Zoom came public just 2 years ago at a valuation of $9 billion. Now they're buying companies for $14.7 billion. Of course, pandemic changed everything about that company. Truly been the biggest winner, or one of the biggest winners from the pandemic. If you want some additional information throughout the day, of course, always follow me on Twitter. It's OKCCFACFP. Until then, I'm out.